Hello, folks. It's been a while. Finally got the recording working. There's been some difficulties. That's why it's gonna take a bit. It took a bit to get the video out. Of course, we had Retribution. We had bigger build up than the last 3 weeks for Smackdown to finally build up to the SummerSlam pay-per-view. And quick little reminder to the near kidnapping of Sonya Deville by a random guy. He's put to justice for kidnapping crimes. As much as I don't even like Sonya Deville that much, as particularly my favorite female wrestler, I don't want to hear anything about a wrestler getting kidnapped. So, just glad to hear that she's completely safe. She's completely unharmed from that time. So this is like rough news, bro. But yeah, we still have a SmackDown review to do. Shockingly, Retribution attacked John Morrison and Biggie Langston in their opening match. They had to schedule their match later after the assault. Retribution, and it's like I'm not trying to be always nitpicky. I'm trying to control my voice from how it was back in 2018, where I literally like blasted on everything. I mean, 2019, I was also screaming. But it's early, bro, so I'm not trying to like completely lose a gasket. But Retribution came. Wouldn't it be more impactful if you take both guys out of commission? They come around trying to act like freaking little children, breaking around, trying to feel like this is their house. There's gonna be retribution for the WWE. They're taking out a small assessment of the roster. What are the key pieces they're going to be assaulting? Biggie Langston? Baron Corbin? Shinsuke Nakamura? Or Cesaro? Oh, you can be like, they're going to attack Braun Strowman. Those children are not beating up Braun Strowman. I give Braun Strowman a lot of crap, but at least I know that the man looks like he will never be beaten up in a fight. And obviously they won't be going for the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, because he's a heel. So yeah, Retribution stopped up. They did nearly the exact same shit. Randomly screamed, came and beat. They at least assaulted some wrestlers this time. Somehow did a wrestling move to. They hit a spear on Big E, knocking down John Morrison, and then it ended up with the match being scheduled for later to prove that SmackDown won't be tolerated. So, what can fight back Retribution? More wrestling. Makes a lot of sense. I love it. Okay. Sheamus also come around mocking about with Shorty G, like we haven't seen them feud before early 2020, and he like lost every match. He even got Apollo Crews in the feud, and that didn't go anywhere. They literally even heel or face trying to compromise Matt Riddle. He's still going to be registered as a complete job. I don't understand. And you're trying to make this heel persona for Shorty G, where it feels like he's smoothly going in the heel, like it's gonna make a freaking difference if you're still losing clean on regular SmackDown. Like I don't think he had a clean win since late 2019. It is August of 2020 now, and the guy barely picked up a clean win. And he had chances, bro. He had a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental title, and he never even won that. I mean, he did one German suplex. His entire arsenal is just Kurt Angle's arsenal while being short. And over multiple of the guys that Kurt Angle was wrestling, he had a bit of an undersized to him, but thanks to his wrestling background, that worked for him. Plus, he already looked like he can kick your ass. So Kurt Angle is fine on that thing. Shorty G is like a muscle-bound midget with no personality, and the guy barely wins matches, and he's elating himself, making an excuse like Corbin gets paid more than most of the WWE roster, yet this guy hasn't won a title since 2017. What kind of bank is he making? What investments is he making? I don't know why. The allegiance of Shorty G with Corbin, and Corbin teasingly trying to call him Chad again. It does not invest me. All I just want to see is just Matt Riddle beat the crap out of him. I guess that's the most I can give it. I'm not invested in this feud or the King's Ransom, whatever jobber fest Corbin's doing. I understand Corbin's doing this to try to to just get Riddle over, thinks he's a new guy on the roster. I perfectly understand, but Shorty G's just there to be just there. It's just not enticing, in my opinion. We also had a triple brand battle royale involving NXT superstars of Tegan Knox, Shotzi Blackheart, uh, Asuka, Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Naomi. It's just the match was bland as you get it. And I understand they're trying to, of course, do some forecomings and give the golden role models their comeuppance. Thanks on Payback, they also have to defend their women's title. So the thing is probably that Asuka is going to win double the titles. I don't mind because it takes Bayley like several months to finally get a watchable match because Asuka's just that better than her. And of course, whatever the hell Sasha to do, because Asuka won this match, no problem. It's not like we have many other women to actually push in the roster. I mean, screw Shayna Baszler, right? Yeah, and Naomi, we're not racist, so she doesn't need any more wins. And of course, I'm so sorry about this, man. Of course, we also had Dana Brooke, that of course came from supposed to be constant favorite, beat two-time women's champion Naomi twice clean to try to build her up to a mediocre push that ended up with her losing at Money in the Bank, mistakenly confusing some dumb freaking briefcase on top of an office, and she confuses that for the real Money in the Bank briefcase, even though she's literally been told it's on top of the roof in front of the headquarters. On top of the headquarters. So they just came from trying to push her as a major favorite in the women's division because we don't have any top females in the division to just completely making her into a muscle-bound joke that Batista just called for a booty call. That's about it. Dana Brooke ain't nothing except she looks like a constant side piece with Botox in her. It just doesn't sit well with me. And then she just come around, I think, costing Tegan Knox. I think it was Tegan Knox or Lacey Evans in the Battle Royale. Uh, a woman's right to Naomi. The funnest spot was, I guess, when Shayna Baszler kneed Asuka out. She saved herself off Bayley and Sasha that were trying to interfere after they got kneed in the face. And then it came out with, of course, Asuka's hitting out Shayna Baszler. She gets to face off against Sasha Banks and Bayley. I just don't want Bayley's goddamn nose ring and her dumb, awkward hair that always looks like he's getting blown by a fan to just get near me. I hate this. I hate Bayley. I hate Sasha. Over the semblance of these 5 out of 10s always holding onto the gold. I mean, you don't have to be attractive all the time to win the title, but there's no semblance of a character with them, and I just hate that they just chew up this much screen time, especially for the women's division, and it just feels so terrible because the more interesting storyline is on Smackdown with Mandy and Sonya, and yet all they had was just vignettes hyping up this going to be a hair versus hair match. I just want to skip over that because just both of them went over the reasons why they're having the hair versus hair match because of image reasons, and of course Sonya's more focused on that, even though she beat her clean twice. I mean, I don't mind. This has been literally the most compelling. The Sonya Deville and Mandy feud has been literally the most compelling thing on SmackDown, to be honest. But I just wish we had an authority. authority figure. Like, I don't care if he's completely babyface. Like, we're gonna have this match right now. We're doing it for these fans at home. At least it compels a bit of authority because just everybody just calls out somebody for a match. To me, that just doesn't sit well with me. You got to get somebody to orchestrate, make it feel like SmackDown's feeling like it's always being taken care of. I don't care if they even make Shane or Stephanie, even though Stephanie's been more time on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, just give some semblance of an authority figure, even if he's annoying. We had this one random tall guy on SmackDown a couple episodes ago when Jeff Hardy was accused of running over Elias when he was in that Sheamus feud. This random tall guy that looks like Val Venus coming around splitting up orders because of the Intercontinental title tournament. And it's like, where the hell is this guy coming from? And why isn't he on any other show? Like, it made no sense. He wasn't a backstage figure. He wasn't anybody affiliated with the McMahons. So he just came out of nowhere orchestrating because he thought this was a dire position. Where is he now? This makes no sense. So yes, we went over a decent, heartfelt promo over Mandy, dealing with her being called a Barbie doll all this time, working 9 to 5s while still being in college, becoming a professional wrestler, and she takes it like she did had to overcome anything without her looks. Sonya thinks like she embraces it, and they'll do it in a hair versus hair match. Uh, I feel like this could have been a fitting conclusion. Shorty G against Sheamus 1-on-1. Sheamus coming around looking like a freaking Irish hobo earlier in the show. Coming around wearing his little cap. He wears the same shit that he wore from that bar fight literally merely a month ago. And then he comes around just spiked up hair, black wrist tape, trunks, wrestling knee pads, and boots. I understand he changed. It's just a complete 180 from how he completely looked in the earlier parts of the show. It's not like Triple H wearing a suit and he comes out looking wet hair, tights, regular look. Like, we know that Triple H looks like a buff guy, and I'm not saying that Sheamus doesn't have a good look. Obviously, looks good for a shocking, still in like his 40s. But the guy, it just it's just weird. It's Shorty G just lost. I mean, he tried with some cross-face clubbings, then he does this dumbass German suplexes, and Michael Cole's on hyper like, this is a different edge. He's still losing clean to the same guy that he couldn't beat like 5 times on SmackDown. I'm just lucky that there was no pay-per-view feud. I think they only had one pay-per-view feud, but Sheamus still won clean. And I think he was still portrayed as the babyface. But I don't even think, like, Vince had any believability that the underdog can pin Sheamus. So, they just completely just bounced the reason. Why is this Vanilla Midget rip off Kurt Angle template even trying to think he can get over Sheamus? And he just loses clean. And of course, he would come later in the night because he was talking trash to Big E. Of course, showing that he was not afraid of retribution. I try, man. I try. It was just a mediocre squash match. I knew Sheamus was gonna win. I just thought with this new edge, why is he still coming up in sports trunks, wearing highlighted colors, looking like a Make-A-Wish Skechers, freaking Make-A-Wish Skechers model? It just, Shorty G needs to change his entire look. If you're trying to make him more menacing of a amateur-esque wrestler, I don't know what was wrong with his previous look. With the short hair, he came around just wearing basic trunks and stuff. At least he looked like a wrestler. Right now, he just looks like he's a Skechers sidekick or some crap. He looks like somebody at a Johnny Test that got, like, kicked out of a rocket or something. It just looks bad. Of course, we had Jeff Hardy. AJ Styles didn't show up last week. Here he is this week with Joseph Park. I knew he was already signed. I was waiting for him to finally be on television. Just sucked that it's not without a crowd. Not without a crowd. It just sucks. And he brings around with, of course, Styles, of course, mocking AEW. Obviously, they would mock AEW. I mean, it's only been referenced twice. I don't care. It ended up with the only person that deserves the Intercontinental Championship. It's AJ Styles. Jeff Hardy came out being like, wouldn't it be super cool? Wouldn't it be dope? Wouldn't it be awesome if we fought for the Intercontinental Championship? With Styles, of course, pointing the accolades and respecting Jeff Hardy until he declined the offer. And then we had a fist fly as soon as he said this ain't no pity party. Ended up with, of course, they fight. Jeff Hardy writes his freaking autograph signing BS on the whiteboard. Joseph Park didn't even do anything. I don't want him to go to Abyss or some shit, or else it's not PG at all. Abyss is no part PG, and it's just terrible. I don't mind them feuding, and I guess they're doing this to spike up the viewership into some semblance. Of course, it's a dream match. It's a dream match. But, yeah, that's about it. I mean, this is better way. This thing is about to be at least way better than the last, 2 months of the Sheamus and Jeff Hardy feud. That was literally going off the most tasteless. I'm not saying tasteless in the sound of it being, like, insulting. Because, of course, Jeff Hardy does not mind his storylines involving his personal demons. That's been done before and completely way better, in my opinion. Because till then, internet wasn't that utilized for, of course, going into wrestlers' personal lives, and of course, CM Punk was just a more compelling talker than Sheamus. Just calling him a junkie doesn't mean much. Punk really went over most of the selfishness and all the crap because that was like when Jeff was younger and he was more a lean to do more risque stuff. So that's why the feud hit more close to home. And he was like loads more popular than he is here. Yes, he is still well popular, but he's older. It just oh god. Ended up with a fight, put his little insignia on the mat. I don't care. We had Grand Metalik face off against Shinsuke Nakamura. Before that happened, before they start talking about, of course, the New Day, talking shit about the tag division or lack thereof, we had Lince Dorado and Grand Metalik. If we can't win titles, we just steal them like random, like real Hispanics. Wait, what? It's just a bad look. It looks dumb and it makes them feel like a comedic. It's just three El Toritos in the damn faction, and they call it the Lucha House Party. We have freaking Kalisto coming back, a former United States champion, still affiliating with guys that barely win matches, unless it's their own Lucha House Party rules or they mean a handicap match. So it can be at least somewhat fair because you're wrestling against 1.5 men. So it's just that there. I didn't see much of the match, to be honest, because I'm really not conflicting to seeing Shinsuke Nakamura German suplex and knees some jobber in the face. But I heard Grand Metalik won this one because of the Kalisto distraction. So there it is. Kalisto seemed to have a cooler look. I know he got injured, I think November of last year. So it's good to see Kalisto back. I just wish they made him try to feel like a more legitimate luchador. He looks like he got a bit of a size on him. Now I just wish they'd break up this dumb little this little group. No pun intended. We also had Alexa Bliss being interviewed over her relations with The Fiend and Braun Strowman. Of course, because of the Mixed Match Challenge for Braun, and literally being abducted from Bray. It's just, I don't mind if you're trying to change the mentality of Braun Strowman. The best thing that happened is just shaving off his goddamn head. That's about it. Now he looks like the father of Tommaso Ciampa, coming around just just spitting on the frickin' microphone. We're not I'm just, we're not friends. You're just using me. I'm like, oh God, you made my PB hard, Lex. Alexa tried to tease up that that I wish we had something or something. I don't care. I mean, even if you did, the man will literally break you, Alexa. Just no, I'm saying sexually. He will break you. Like, you're like 4'11". He's like you're seven. He's like 7 foot tall. So, and plus he's wide and huge. So that's gonna literally kill you. In a semblance of the Fiend mouth raping you actually makes this a compelling storyline. It just feels a bit weird, and how sexually compressed this is as a feud. I don't I don't care. As soon as the guy referenced that Braun said that he doesn't matter to him. It's just him and Bray. She completely just paused, like, that hurts my feelings. Like, she should know, like, I don't want to be a part of this mess. I want to get out of here. I just want to target. I just want to beat Bayley or something, or be friends with Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross even came up to apologize about shoving her off and leaving her to the Fiend after literally just walking off after her loss to Bayley. Nothing else got walked on except that with Alexa. And then we had, of course, Big E facing off against John Morrison in a rematch. Just time the Miz was on commentary. I don't care about anybody else in the roster. I'm here to show complete 100% support for my friend. And of course, we had a Smackdown roster there to protect them this time. But Retribution went backstage to just assault a few refs, but failingly lock somebody in the bathroom, and I think scare Kayla. They're so edgy. They're so complex. They're so. What's their end game? By the way, they're still wrecking up a training facility. I have no interest in Retribution. If you guys haven't watched my freaking my negatives I have for the Retribution, even if they go further with the storyline, they show no impact other than just coming out and just scaring a few midgets in the commentary team, and it just comes up looking corny. Going around with a freaking chainsaw, just ripping off the ropes. It ends off submission somehow for Big E, not the big ending. Some leg submission. The match was fine enough as it is, because at least had a finish, no botches. Drop some, of course, a drop kick, a sunset flip. Biggie doing freaking leapfrogs while no selling that he still is getting targeted over the leg, and he's doing freaking leapfrogs, jumping off. He's moving as fast as Morrison. The SmackDown roster came in to try to assist backstage when they were literally seeing on the Titantron that these people were still assaulting some of the employees backstage. So there it is. The Retribution didn't even come back again, attacking Morrison, Miz, and Big E this time. They didn't do anything. The damage was already done. They're making a statement. What's the end game? What's the reason? I don't freaking care. Then we had, of course, the main event that had Alexa, that actually wore different clothing this time, talking to Braun Strowman, slapping him a couple times, because we have something bigger. You can't tell me you don't have any more feeling. You don't have feelings for me. And of course, Braun does not care because he's just in a different state. He's a heel now. He's a monster among men. He come around doing a gorilla press, trying to at least target Bray. Alexa was dropped. They turned the lights off like they did for freaking Ric Flair. That I can at least understand that. And Alexa just came off looking. I understand Alexa's short, but are you sure you can't just sell her like taking a bump like that? It just looks bad. It just looks weak in my opinion. Like the loss of impact if you want Braun Strowman to feel like he's more of an animal, and then they had the Fiend coming out, but then he sticks his tongue out, looking like if if Carnage wore someone's face, and of course we had Braun still laughing, feeling sadistic. But 4 out of 10, bro. 4 out of 10. Retribution ain't doing anything for me. Barely any match was watchable in the semblance of me caring. The women's division, as mediocre as it is, if I were you, I would just bring back no brand split. Especially to the stuff that we had now. We've been in the record low ones, bro. Come on. This brand split is not working. Braun is not feeling legitimate, even if he's a turning heel or face. It's not bringing up to an interesting dynamic because it's still feeling corny on television. The only semblance is there's at least more stuff happening and better build in the last 3 weeks of television, so I can at least give it that much. But this show was just still bad. It that if you feel differently in the comment section, obviously you do because it's my opinion. Still feeling that backlash from that Nia Jax debacle. But still, uh, uh, God bless Sonya Deville. Hope she's feeling 100% today. Thanks for watching my review. If there's more you would like to talk about, please feel free in the comment section. Unlike other people, I like people's opposite opinions. So that's it coming from me. Thanks for watching.